It's only been a few months since her return home to her family in West Mumbai. And all this is still so new for Pooja. The emotion still raw over the 9 years mother and daughter spent apart. Pooja, now 16, was kidnapped when she was only 7. Don't cry, she tells her mom, even as she struggles to hold it together herself. Thinking of how the couple who took her promised an ice cream treat, then whisked the 7-year-old away, forcing her to work for them for years, taking all her earnings. The woman would beat me constantly, Pooja says, with a belt, a rolling pin, anything she could find, especially when I asked about my real parents. Sometimes the beatings were so bad, her clothes would be soaked in blood.
What was it like living that day to day when you knew your family was out there?
It felt like I was in jail. I couldn't escape, she says, and I couldn't remember where my real parents lived. Her parents were living a nightmare, making headlines on the nightly news with their frantic search for their little girl, a missing poster in hand. Nearly a decade later, Pooja's mother, Poonam, still has the old faded poster.
And so these are all phone numbers?
With a handful of phone numbers at the bottom. Only one still worked, but it was enough to lead her daughter back home. Pooja confided in a friend at work, a mother figure, who helped find and decipher the missing poster online. Pooja was too terrified to speak up for so many years. They were torturing her, co-worker Pramila says, but somehow she told me everything and I had to help. Pooja's mother calls it a miracle. It feels so good to see my 3 children together again, she says, after years of not knowing if her only daughter was still alive.
A case like Pooja's, found reunited with her family after 9 years, is so rare, particularly in a country where reports of missing children went up by 30% from 2020 to 2021. At the height of the pandemic, the severe economic pain leaving children the prime targets of trafficking and forced labor.
Police are overwhelmed, but Pooja's return brought a glimmer of hope to the Mumbai Police's missing children unit. Officers intensified searches for others who had disappeared, a push that lasted a few short weeks.
But I know my family is over here.
As for Pooja, she's slowly adjusting.
Sab change ho gaya.
What changed?
Like my house and this all tiles.
These weren't here before when you were little?
The little changes are easy to overcome. The chronic pain after years of beatings is much harder to endure. She wants her kidnappers to pay for what they did to her. So do those in her tight circle. Like the neighbor whose phone number on her missing poster helped the teenager reunite with her family. The kidnappers have been arrested, but I want to see them get the harshest punishment possible, he says. A fervent wish for justice unlikely to come true. Less than 1% of trafficking or missing children cases end in conviction. And so Pooja and her mother carry on, the happiness that they're together again tinged with heartbreak. Over years lost and the loss of her father, dead just months before Pooja found her way home.
This is such a heartbreaking story, Salima, and there are concerns that this situation is only going to get worse.
That's right, Ian. Now, Pooja may have been kidnapped nearly a decade ago, but her ordeal really shows the effects of the global pandemic on so many in India. Her treatment, she says, at the hands of her kidnappers got worse in 2020 during the COVID-19 lockdown, when she was further exploited for her ability to work and make money for the couple. Now, child rights advocates do say that 30% increase of missing children across the country will only get worse in post-COVID India, with the economic pain that so many of the country's poorest are feeling. Now, as for pain, Pooja says she's dealing with her own, not just physical, but emotional too. She says she keeps thinking that she hears her kidnappers' voices behind her, and she keeps worrying that they may be released from prison.
CBC's India correspondent Salima Shivji, thank you.